it needs to be consistent for everybody. Everybody should have got a copy of the proposed policy that I'm recommending. At least 3 weeks ago you got that, so I'm sure you've all read that. A little history. 10 or 12 years ago, on our rules of procedure, council showed approving all tributes and proclamations at the county level. Some years later, we stopped doing that. It wasn't a big issue doing it, but now I think we need to go back to somewhat what we used to do. Somebody said that other important things to do besides this effort on this is primarily on my effort. So I've done all the research, talked to Kent County, Newcastle County, state legislators, a couple of towns, see what they do and how they handle things. And I think that two things. The first reason is we need to set a set of standards that we can all be consistent with. So everybody gets the same treatment, the same issues, the same reasons. And create guardrails on what these documents are for, so they have some meaning. I think it's very important that when somebody gets something from Sussex County Council, that it is something that means something to them, something they will cherish and be proud of. So with that, I'm going to move on to the policies that we're proposing, the draft policy. And you see there's 3 tiers, tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. I would say that I'm going to do this I guess in reverse. But tier 3 is actually a congratulatory letter. Other agencies use this, state legislature uses this, where versus giving a proclamation or a tribute or something, we actually sit down, actually write a handwritten letter to someone showing them that we appreciate what they've done in this county. Interesting, I was talking to one legislator who said he walked into a house 2 years after he had written a handwritten note to a member of that family. And on the refrigerator hanging was that handwritten note, that it meant that much to that family. It wasn't a tribute hanging on the wall, it was a note from their legislator. So I think we would start with the base thing we would do to congratulate somebody is a handwritten note or some type of letter from us individually, from the person, from Mike Vincent, from Sidney Green, from Mark Shea, from whoever. You would do that to pay somebody in your district. Tier 2 moves on to 2 things, tributes and memoriams. A memoriam obviously is to celebrate someone who has they passed on, but they did a lot of things in Sussex County to benefit Sussex County. The second thing would be tributes. And the tribute idea that at least I have is the tribute will come from an individual council member. It'll be on a document that you would have either staff or yourself fill out and sign it and give that to whoever you want to give it to. And I think Mr. Lawson has down there, I think I asked him to bring in something that I'm talking about. If you look down there, Mr. Lawson, you'll see what it looks like. Same size as a proclamation, but it's a tribute. Have the person's name on it and your name at the bottom where you would sign it. And it's from you. And the third thing is proclamation. And proclamations come from the entire county council. So with proclamations, somebody would suggest a proclamation. It would be reviewed by the county administrator. Make sure it fits what we want to do, goes on the agenda. And it'll be put on a consent agenda on our agenda each Tuesday if there's something there. And we would vote on that as consent agenda, or somebody could pull something off if they have a question about it. But anything that comes from the county council on our document would be voted on by the entire county council, and then put in place. The signatures on there would be the signatures of the county clerk, council president, and the person who set that proclamation forward. I'm trying to make it as simple and clear as possible. Any questions on that? I know you've had time to read this thing, look at it, everybody has. Okay.
I read everything, and I agree with you, Mr. Vincent, that there should be some formality to the process, and I'm glad to see I think the tribute design and the proclamation design are both within keeping of I think of the respect due to the citizens of the county, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. And the second thing we would deal with is then that needs to, the policy needs to show up in our rules of procedure. And that was, I think, Rule 4 under agenda that shows that this is allowed to be put on the agenda, the proclamation. And then the next thing would be under a whole new Rule 11A, 11A1 talks about proclamations, tributes, and memoriams, and how they be dealt with by policy. It's really, I think, fairly simple. It does make it consistent. So, what we shouldn't do, Mike Vincent shouldn't walk in here and get a tribute or a proclamation on county council to give to, I'm going to pick something out of the sky, the custodial staff at Seaford High School. Maybe it's custodial staff month, I don't know what it would be. And I would get that, get it processed, I would take it there. Nobody up here except me would know about that. My concern is how that makes the other custodial staffs in the entire county feel when just Seaford got that and nobody else did. Woodbridge didn't, Cape didn't, whoever. I think that's very unfair of me to do that. So I think that should be what we're working about. At the end of the day, this is about the people. It's about the people who have done something extra special in this county that we should be recognizing them and make sure we do that in a proper manner. And it's not about Mike Vincent with a photo op in a newspaper for something for my campaign run again next time or something. It's not about that. It's about the person, and we need to deal with the people, and that's why we should have this thing focused on that and do it that way. So, and any questions? If not, I'm going to make a motion to start with. I guess, Mr. Moore, the first thing will be the policy.
That is correct.
Make a motion to adopt the policy as presented. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, motion, myself, second, Mr. Hudson. Any questions on the motion? We'll take the vote. Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Mrs. Green?
No.
Mr. Hudson?
Yes.
Mr. Riley?
Yes.
I would yes, motion carried. And the second thing would be to adopt the amended rules of procedure to put that in place. I'll make that motion. Is there a second? Second, Mr. Riley. Any questions on the motion? We'll take the vote. Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Mrs. Green?
As a member sitting here not aware if there was a problem to start with, I'm going to vote no.
Thank you. Mr. Hudson?
Yes.
Mr. Riley?
Yes.
I would yes, motion carried. Mr. Lawson, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. President.